Hey, my new friend Ron.
It's all right, man.
Joe, Ron, JoeMania, Ron Mania. We're gonna
JoeMania.
JoeMania and Ron
rock
9.
Vegas like there's no tomorrow. I want to start off before we even do anything. Meeting Ron yesterday was a delight, and come to find out as we're walking in here to this clubhouse in Vegas, because I'm from California still.
By the way, you know I lived there for a long time, man. I worked at MGM for a long time.
Okay.
You know, in Culver City.
Okay.
So, and Lorimar Productions too as well.
All right.
That was at Lorimar Productions.
Tell
You and I have a
everybody
lot in
about-
common.
Oh, we have a lot in common. So, give me a little pieces. My new good friend here, as we're walking into this clubhouse, first of all, a lot of you know my record. I got lucky meeting Trini Lopez, Oprah Winfrey, Olivia Newton-John was before that, and Santa Barbara Unity. And then I met Trini in 2015. But before we go that far into it, Trini was a legend, worked with the Beatles, Sinatra, Buddy Holly, Elvis, and he passed away August 11th, and now I'm carrying the legacy. We wrote 50 songs, 3 albums together, world tour, the Trini and Joe reality show in Catalina. We became, as Ron saw the whole NBC interview, we surpassed business partners. We became like a father and son. Mm-hmm. We were tight.
And he was a nice dude too, man. He was a real nice guy, man.
And Ron played
humble.
where Trini made it big from Texas to LA, ended up at PJ's, and Ron just telling us we're walking in, hey Joe, I just gotta tell you, I saw your whole interview on NBC with Trini, and you were telling me.
I was the house band at PJ's. It used to be, it was PJ's first, and then it became the Starwood second.
Okay.
You know, I forget who sold it, but I was the house band there, and they would have guys like Trini, and what's the guy that played? I always forget his name. David Carradine, because David Carradine was a guitar player, also, and but I was actually the house band, so it was like, you know,
this is too great.
Yeah, and I can remember Trini's name out on the marquee. I can actually remember, still, I saw it in my head last night when I
Speaking of the marquee, he doesn't know what I have right here. I went by the mayor's office. It's another story. Ta-da! Ta-da! Yeah, this launched me worldwide, this guy. And now Ron and I are going to do some incredible things that will go piece by piece and tell everybody. But this is the tribute on the day he passed. The Rockstar owners asked if I would be doing the first performance at the Rockstar before I did anywhere else, and I did it. And it led to that, and this right here. This is how it started.
Right.
Making history, Trini worked with Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin. They all signed on Reprise Records.
Right. That was Sinatra's company.
Right, yeah. He started.
That's right.
And so Trini, I met him in Palm Springs at a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he says, talk like this and move his head. And I'd always imitate him on interviews, and he'd laugh and say, he goes, so I hear you write some music. And I go, yeah. He goes, how many songs you got? And I'm standing here, and he's going, I said, 800. And I think he looked at me like, yeah, right. He goes, really? What instrument do you play? I go, all of them. I was on a date, and she started going, oh, Joe sings, he plays our instrument.
Yeah, right.
Easy. And so he slips me his, we said this whole story in an NBC interview that Ron saw. I made a joke. I said, Trini gave me his phone number and slipped $5,000 in my pocket, another 10 grand when I went to his house, and we talked, and we laughed, and we became friends. It got so big. This right here says, legends and locals paid it forward. From Frank Sinatra to Trini Lopez to, they call me JoeMania now. So my good friend passed away, and
We're talking about Trini. We're talking about Trini Lopez passing away. And by the way, also I wanted to tell you that a girl I went to school with ended up as the co-star in La Bamba that was played by Gary Busey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that happened all in Los Angeles City College.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was attending there at that time. So I went to school with everybody because they didn't, at that time, all of the stars, kids, were going to 2-year schools first because UCLA was so expensive.
Okay.
So they would send them to the junior college first, and then they would go on out to UCLA or USC or whatever.
Okay.
And that's how I'm embroiled in what you have been experiencing too as well. So, and that's why I said I'm really surprised that we didn't actually meet each other back then.
And we just met yesterday.
Yeah.
And we have this bond, even bigger than we thought, that we had connected to what I just explained to everybody. And we're in Vegas, and as you know, the Rat Pack kind of still dominates the city by historical moments.
Right.
Where I performed, they have Dean Martin Street, Sammy Davis, and Frank Sinatra by the airport where I sang.
The old industrial road.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, when I came here, I got here in '98, and the only reason I didn't stay in Los Angeles was I revisited a place that I lived on, Jasmine Avenue in Palms, and the only thing they had changed was they put a gate where I used to walk through to my apartment. That's all that had changed, and they put up an intercom. And when because I thought, let me go back there and see what's after how many years I'd been in Australia.
25?
Yeah, about 25 years.
Yeah.
And I come back, and the guy, a friend of mine, guitar players by the way, the guy who played with me at PJ's, as a matter of fact, he said to me, if I were you, I'd go on down to Vegas, man. He said, I begged, borrowed, and stole from my place, which was in Silver Lake.
Okay.
And he said to me, if I were you, Ron, he said, I'm just telling you this as a friend. He said, go down to Vegas. He said, it's cheaper. He said, my parents go all the time. He said, it's cheaper, and I think you'll be happier. And do you know that I was offered a house in Silver Lake in 1972
Okay.
by a girlfriend of mine who was going to South America. She wanted to get rid of the place. She offered it to me for $12,500. Now you can't get anything there for under $1.5 million.
Yeah. You should call her up.
No, not South. No way.
Yeah. No, that's a good story.
It was really funny, but like I said, I'm still awed by the fact that either we ran into each other and didn't know each other,
That could have been.
or it was just fate that has us here right now.
Wait, exactly one word to sum up what we're doing here. Met him 48 hours ago, even that. And as we're walking in this country club, you're hearing exactly how we're interacting.
Right, exactly.
And how many things collaborated, how many merits got together that I didn't know he was about, and related to Trini, and then Trini goes permits to Sinatra, and Carolyn Goodman, she endorsed me, the mayor out here in Vegas, with a beautiful video. Because of Trini and what I've done, she called me the singing sensation. Did you see that?
Yes, I watched it all.
Okay,
I watched
yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah, Kimberly said, I said, you have that thing on? She said, yeah, I have it. So I just sat in my room and watched the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. But he's talented too. I saw a lot of his videos singing on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And against that wall. His stage performance is good. His vocals are great. He's got a good attitude to start off, but his vocals are good. He likes the camera. The camera likes him. I study all that when I...
Right. I learned a long time ago, on that Star Switch situation, was that you're only playing to one eye, but you got to convince 1 million people that are watching. You know what I mean? So I don't really, in situations like that, I don't really play, as you know, you don't play to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
What happens is you have to think to yourself that, man, there's only one eye going to be looking at me, but how do I convince everybody out there I'm the best, And that's something that I always try to teach other people, that I had this group one time, Kimberly and I put on, along with another company, but we were the actual operations group. We put on 360 acts inside Madison Square Garden, plus 10 nightclubs on the outside, man, from Soho to Queens to, we had.
So you like arranged the whole thing? Like,
Basically, yeah, basically we arranged the whole thing.
like a production.
In some cases it was produced, in some cases the guys didn't want to listen. You know, it was their business. You know, you could only do so much that people want
Yeah,
you
right.
to do. So, but the reason entertainment first came about was because I got fed up with them in New York by telling them that when you play a big arena like that, nothing is for free.
No.
You can't even stick, there's no plugs. So you can't even stick your electrical things in the wall unless you have somebody. But because I'm from New Jersey and I knew about the unions and stuff, I told him, I said, look, give me, a suitcase holds 6,000 bucks. Just give me 6,000 in $1 bills.
Okay.
And I will fly ahead and take care of all the union guys. Because, you can't even get a chair in there.
Right.
And so I told him, I said, hey, look, man, just give me the money and I'll fly there and we'll situate everything. So on top of the 10 nightclubs, Kimberly and I would go out and we'd get to the nightclub that I had to put on an act in there to find out they hadn't paid the club.
Oh,
So then we're running back in
you're putting out
cabs.
fires, huh?
Oh man, we put out so many, that's the reason I resigned from it and said, you know what, I'll start my own company. And that's how entertainment first came about. Just on that, but I'm sure I have the Guinness Book of World Records on putting on that many acts.
I bet.
Inside
It's a
Madison
big
Square.
responsibility.
Yeah, it was, never do it again.
See, one thing in this business, Kimberly, his wife, and Ron, they work together as a team. I looked at a lot of stuff from you guys last night too. And one thing for the people out there that got that itch for entertainment,
Right.
go in with a good attitude, smile, be honest,
Yeah.
and then you start eliminating people that you run into that aren't real. And it's real simple. It's called Google.
That's right.
And then you
Google it.
find out when the guy says, I'm Doogie Boggy Diggy,
Yeah,
and you
right.
find out he's naughty nothing. It cuts you. When I met Trini, my short story was, all through school, I'm a black belt in Kempo karate,
All right.
and I competed. So,
Well, we have a lot in common, don't we?
you trained?
Yeah. I did kung fu training when from the
Oh.
time I was, because I had a lot of bullies. There was a lot
Yeah,
of bullies around. I
And
ended
you
up.
are about the same size as the
Yeah.
huge guys. You gotta knock them out.
Yeah, well, it only took once. It only
Right.
took once. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but don't put your hands on me. I'm cool. Other than that, I'm cool.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Oh yeah, it's so growing
And
up.
I never start fights. I never.
Oh, no,
never,
yeah.
Never start fights.
No, you definitely.
My brother, who's passed away now, I wish that he had the same mindset that I had, because he wasn't scared of anything. I wish if he was alive now, I'd have him training for boxing.
Okay.
I broke up many fights with my brother, man. Cops, the whole shot, man. It was,
Did you ever go to the internationals in Long Beach? Ed Parker has a big. Ed Parker Sr. trained Elvis in Kimpo.
no, I didn't go there because the only time I really traveled to Long Beach, I've been there quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I got friends who live there now.
Yeah.
Very close friends. Was when they brought the Queen Mary in. That was my first gig when they brought the Queen Mary in.
That's right across from.
Yeah, I had the first gig on that boat. On that
That's
boat.
great.
And it was haunted too, by the way. Let me tell you, the boat is haunted.
Really?
Yeah, I really believe it is, because I was the first one to get in there and walk all the way to the back by myself. Okay, and and I've heard other people say it too as well.
The Queen Mary?
Yeah, the Queen Mary. When they dragged it in, man, we were the first. We got commissioned to do some gigs on it, and when the first day I went on it, I remember thinking, oh, let me see how long this is, because it was quite a long ship.
Yeah.
And I walked all the way to the back by myself, and I felt it. Now I'm not a believer of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But that happened. That's the only time I've really been back to
Experienced
Long
it?
Beach. Yeah. Kimberly had a friend living there, and I just, and one of my best friends still lived there. Lives on Jersey Avenue. Yeah, lives there. I haven't heard from him for a while, but he was my bass player in my first band at PJ.
Oh, PJs, this is the connection here.
Yeah.
And so growing up, I was doing football, track, karate, and writing tons of songs.
Where you originally from?
Montebello, down south.
Oh, man.
Cape Rivera, Montebello. My
Wait a
grandma's in
minute.
Pasadena.
Let me tell you something, man.
Were we neighbors?
I used to go to Montebello every
Really?
week. Yeah, because you remember Huggy Boy?
Mm-hmm.
I used to do his show, man.
Oh, really?
The Huggy Boy show. I used to do it out in Montebello.
Wow, I was born there at Beverly Hospital or something like that.
Yeah, that's where I used to go out every week, and we used to do a show for Huggy Boy.
This is too great, Ron. It was Trini and Joe, now it's Joe and Ron.
There you go, man. No, I was impressed. I was impressed with this because
Okay, thank you.
when I looked at it online, I started to realize that also that your songs weren't, can I say it? They were mainstream, but they were not mainstream. Then there was mainstream ones, and then there was what came out of you, you know? Yeah. And like the one with the sunglasses and the one with the sunglasses. Yeah, the one with the sunglasses and were you doing the upbeat song?
Oh, yeah.
With the girls dancing, what was it?
Tantalized.
Yeah, Tantalized.
Tantalized,
Yeah,
sweet
right.
surprise. Tantalized.
Yeah, right. So, but I was quite impressed with you because I knew you had a record there. You know, I knew the record, and I kept seeing it come up and come up and come up and come up. You know, on one track you had about, maybe it was 15 different videos.
There's tons.
Yeah, you like me, man. There's so much stuff that we can't bring it out all at once.
But yeah, meeting Ron and Kimberly, I feel like a good bond. Because you either feel it or you don't. I always used to think of that expression when perfume in those fancy places, you spray that car and they go, and then you go, no. They go, shh. Yeah, it only takes a second to either like somebody or something, or you don't.
That's true, man. That's true. You know, once you have experience, you kind of know.
Sure.
Your gut is what.
And then it helps even more enforcing to go on Google and look at whoever says whatever.
That's it, man. You know, there's no doubt because people who are proud of their history publish it.
Right, yeah.
They publish it, you know. And why wouldn't you? You know, shows your achievements, and maybe it'll help somebody else out and say,
right,
you could do it, you know, maybe I could. And you know, coming from where we come from, I come from Newark, New Jersey, you come from Montebello. You know, everybody says, oh, he's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? But I did visit some friends of mine a few years back when her mom and dad came from Australia.
Oh, really?
And yeah, they came to visit, and they came to visit, and a few of my friends showed up, and one of the friends who I'm still close with till today, he said to me, he said, you know something I knew about you a long time ago. He said, you always knew what you wanted. So that's what I have to say that, man. He said, you always knew what you wanted, man.
It's good.
You know, so that's important too.
You guys have another connection, and that's with Frank Sinatra's people, because you were at the showboat.
Oh yeah.
Them.
When I got hired at the showboat, we got hired for a couple of weeks, and we ended up there 3 years. And Bobby Morris, who was the drummer for Louis Prima, he was in close contact with Sinatra's people, and that's how I got the job.
Oh.
Yeah, because they were the ones that were really kind of booking behind the scenes into the showboat. And, the showboat, Nat King Cole, all of them played there at that place as well. But that's how I got it, through Sinatra's people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny how you can walk into things. How I first actually did this is I created a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. I created a cartoon called Two Toes. A lot of people know that. 2 fingers, 2 toes. They were like a Disney character, and they went everywhere. Universal Studios, Pepsi, and so that got me on this Oprah Winfrey, Olivia Newton-John, Kenny Loggins thing in Santa Barbara, and they didn't know I could sing. They go, "Oh, you're the guy that created those successful cartoon characters, Two Toes." So the Raiders used them. Let's work together for the Ray Toes. Pepsi, don't wait till tomorrow. Drink 2 liters today with the 2 toes. So I kind of went.
Did you do much with Kenny Loggins?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you something. There's a friend of mine that played with him for a long time. He played percussion, Ron Green.
Oh yeah. Do you know the drummer? Kenny drummer was named.
Because Ron Green was a drummer, but he went to playing percussion. Light skinned brother. Yeah, for Kenny Loggins.
Okay. Well, real quick here, I'll show you something. This is Kenny, me, and Olivia. It's a big show.
You know, she's from the same town she's from.
Oh, really?
Olivia Newton-John is from. Your father was a professor at Newcastle University.
Olivia Newton-John, Kenny Loggins, Joe Chavira. Okay, this is just one of, these are all my shows, tons of them. But here's Kenny and Olivia.
My name is Michael Del Bianco. I'm the green manager for Aerotech Aviation for aircraft maintenance.
Kenny and Olivia.
Little Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a huge celebrity telethon that I became a music ambassador with Jeff Bridges and Kenny. Now I come on after them. I wrote the theme song. I don't know why Kenny didn't do it, but they asked me to write it, so. But I have a song for the pageant, an idea. Olivia, Kenny.
Kenny Loggins.
We rotate on the stage to raise money.
All right.
And Olivia Newton-John here.
You're on TV Hill with Joe Chavira and company.
That's me.
We've got Tamiko. You guys are about to sing a pretty special song. Joe, tell us the story behind this song called Unity.
This song is the words are written by Barbara Talison, and it kind of encompasses
From the Unity Shop.
She was the president.
from the Unity Shop. Everything that the Unity Shop stands for: support, help, love, everything that the community's doing to donate money towards us. And she asked if I'd write some music to it, and this is what we're about to play for you.
Very good. I'm going to squeeze out of the way. You guys get cozy.
So, you know,
Take it over.
I kind of did the We Are the World, Quincy Jones.
Yeah, right.
Hi, I'm Mayor Carolyn
Oh,
Goodman
oh,
in
that
the
one.
great city of
I
Los
saw that
Angeles.
last night. We saw that last
I'm
night.
proud to introduce, and it's my great honor
Really
to
nice
welcome
lady.
singing sensation.
I know
Joe
her husband
Chavira
really well.
and his audience.
He used to
and
come
the
when Kimberly was a showgirl. He used to always.
Yeah, he was married for a long time before
Yeah.
her husband, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was married for a long time.
I didn't know that
He
till
was cool.
after.
He was always cool with me and Kimberly. You know, as a matter of fact, cop stopped me one night. And he was a nasty dude. You know, he was a nasty good guy, man. And I told Oscar, and Oscar said, "You want me to bring him in?" And I said, "No. I said, I handled it, you know, with dignity. You know. I said, because I don't want them bothering me later. You know, so you might be able to do it, but then they'll get pissed off.
Yeah.
And he'll tell his friend,
Right.
you
They're
know,
on you.
and then they're on me all the time. So, and nothing ever happened. I said, no, Oscar, it's cool. But he was going to do me and Kimberly that favor, man. He was, you know, because I was trying to tell her the mayor is the head of the police
Yeah.
department. People don't
The mayor's
realize
the boss of the chief of police.
that. Yeah, and the sheriff and everybody else, you know, he's the guy. She's the boss now of the police department.
No.
And that guy that we was there with yesterday, he's running for sheriff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy Peter.
Stan's running for lieutenant governor.
Okay.
No,
what's the other guy?
Peter's doing
The other
lieutenant
guy's running
governor.
for sheriff,
Oh,
which is
okay.
right
Okay,
under
right.
Mrs. Goodman.
Stan
Okay.
Hite for sheriff
Stan
and
Hite.
Peter Pavone for lieutenant
For
governor.
lieutenant governor,
Well, some pretty good friends, huh?
yeah. Yeah, well, you know, at first I didn't know that this guy was running for the sheriff.
Okay.
But my wife pointed out, she said, isn't that the guy that we see on television all the time, you know? Because I kind of agree with his ideas. You know, he's an anti-vaxxer. He's got all of that stuff. He doesn't want to enforce police to say, or he doesn't want to enforce mandates.
Okay.
Okay, and he said some stuff that was really pretty good to me. You know, even though I know people say things what people want to hear, especially politicians. But I thought, you know, this guy needs some help. So that's how he got to the studio yesterday.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Kimberly and I invited him over.
And if it wasn't for Ninan, we wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
Right on. Nina's cool. She's.
Ninan's very shy.
I met her and see, they started calling me JoeMania here. You know, I still couldn't believe I met this guy because
Right.
I was like 5 years old when I saw him on the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah, that's right. With Jim Brown and all them guys, man.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
And if somebody would have
Telly
asked me,
Savalas.
when you grow up, you're going to meet that guy, and you're going to write 50 songs for him, do a world tour,
Yeah, right.
and I think, yeah, right, and it happened.
Yeah, and it happened. Well, you know, look what happened to me. You heard the story yesterday, man. Vincent Price walks in.
I know, I
And
like
he
that
said-
story. And he
Vincent-
said he was a big guy,
Yeah, oh
He's
no,
like-
he was huge, man.
like 6'2", 4".
No, he would have been about 6'5".
Uh,
He was a really tall man, you know. So was Christopher Lee. Same, you know, they played similar characters, except that Vincent Price never played a vampire. But Vincent Price walked in and he said to me, man, you know, with a voice like yours, you shouldn't be any counting other people's money, man. You know. And I went, oh shit. You know, I can't believe that. He was like, so I was like in awe of this guy because I never thought in a million years that I would be meeting all of these people working in a bank.
Oh, yeah?
But it made sense because they all have to do banking, you know. And so I met so many people, man, from Randolph Scott to Cookie, loan me your hair,
Right, yeah.
whatever, loan me your comb. It was just, I just had so many. There were so many mentors that I had at that time. Kirk Douglas's son, the one that passed away, Eric. You know, we're real good friends. You know, I tried to find him. I only found one friend. That I went to college with, that I'm in touch with now, and he's the bionic man now because he's had so many surgeries. Was Jan Murray? Remember Jan Murray? He used to hang with Frank Sinatra and all. Jan Murray, the comedian.
right.
Well, his son and I are still very good friends. Howard Murray.
It's a tight little clique, you know, the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah, it was. But you know, Hollywood at that time was different.
Yeah.
You know, it was different kettle of fish, man. Everything was kind of free. You know, even though we were in Vietnam War, you know, the Vietnam
Right,
War,
yeah.
it brought a lot of people together in unity.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. But yeah, I'll share something with you. I had a car accident when I was a kid, and my sisters were killed. A drunk driver hit us. And I was 7 years
Another
old
thing in
in a
common.
station wagon, and we're going from Santa Barbara to Pasadena. And we pull off the side of the road, and 6 kids in the family.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was pouring my dad coffee, and
Right.
my little sister was about that big, a year old in the front seat.
Right.
You know, 6 kids, you lay the seats down, and I'm just laying on the top.
Right.
You know, I'm always singing all the way up and back.
Mhm.
And we got hit at a dead stop. 19-year-old kid. The car, you know, we never talked about it until years later. I looked at the picture in the article.
Mhm.
The guy hit us at 85 at a dead stop. The car blew up, went 200 feet. I never got ejected, burnt, thrown out of this car. I just stayed there. I don't know how
Wow.
that happened. Everybody got really messed up. So we get back together, and my dad was an old jazz drummer.
Right.
So I'd listen to Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa,
Oh yeah.
Count
Yeah.
Basie,
Know the guys, man.
Take 5 album
Mhm.
with Dave Brubeck.
Charlie Parker, all of them guys, man. He would listen. He was
So I'd get
listening.
on the drums and I'd
Yeah.
and just start playing. Well, after the car wreck, we all got back together, and my dad and Trini's dad were old Texas guys, and that's how him and I got along. And my dad was kind of keeping the family go forward, and then are you okay? Just hey, let's skip. After that record was pretty bad, so I started getting on the drums. My dad said to kind of get the family going. My brother did this, I did the drums. Here's this album, son, you're going to play to it. Trini Lopez. And I told Trini this story after we got really close. And I mean, it was a heavy, we got hit at 8:15 in the morning, I never forgot it. I don't know why nothing happened to me. Everybody got messed up. And so I'm in LA while the family's in the hospital. Get back and Trini Lopez falls to my lap. My dad says, hey, listen to this guy, and start playing the drums to If I Had a Hammer, Lemon Tree.
Yeah, right.
And I get the spoon and sing like him, play the drums.
Right.
And who'd ever think that I'd grow up and meet him?
Yeah,
so
right.
he helped me back then.
Right.
And then when I told him the story what happened to my sisters, he said, will you help me? He says, because I've written a couple originals, but you came in with 800 songs.
Yeah, no joke.
And we did 50 songs, 3 albums in 9 months. NBC said it's the songwriting dream team. So he's thanking me, but I then told him about what I just shared with you, that you really picked me up, because I was like, man, you get back after that, and 6 kids, now there's only
really
4.
Funny. That's really strange, man, because do you know I had the same experience?
Oh, really?
Yeah, one day I'm coming home, my son was just born. He was only about maybe 6 weeks. 6 weeks. It was, I still remember it because it was a day of the rugby league championship.
Oh.
And we all used to go to the pub to have a beer.
Tough sport, rugby.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, my son played it for a while. As a matter of fact.
Tough sport.
Then he came in to play gridiron. He was already ready to do whatever from rugby league. They don't wear no equipment. But anyway, I got to the pub, and the guy said to me, Ron, I still remember his name was John. He's passed now. He said to me, hey man, let me buy you a couple of drinks. You just had a kid. And for some reason I said, nah, you know what? I don't want to have a drink today. I said, I'm just going to enjoy my son. So I left there, went across the street because my friend owned a fish shop. You know, where you go and you buy crumbed fish and stuff like that, calamari. And he said, oh man, meet me back at my house. He said, we'll have a couple of drinks. And I said, nah, for some reason, just kept saying no. But then I thought, well, if I go closer to home to my friend Fritz, this German guy, and we stopped there, and I said, they're not home. So I said, I told my wife, I said, let's just go home. You know, we'll just enjoy Kurt. You know. On the way up, my next door neighbor was plastered.
That'll do it.
Coming down the street on my side of the street, I turned the car 360. He still hit me head on. I come out of it okay. My son cracked his skull, but he was a baby, and the fontanelle hadn't closed up. The hole that they haven't hit. And my wife got really jacked up. Engine came in, fell on her and the baby. Totaled the car out. I was just saying, man, we have a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
We have a lot in common, man. You know, we're like paralleling, man.
I'm liking it.
You know, we're like paralleling.
Here's my last little story with it. The car accident was, we were living at 615 East Williams.
Right.
The last address my mom and dad lived at before they passed was 15. I met Trini in 2015. The mortuary in the cemetery where my mom was buried was ended in 15. So now I never told Trini the whole story. We flew 42 hours to Sri Lanka and Hong Kong to perform the video. And, you know, I'm on the plane and I'm starting to miss them. parents. 'Cause, you know, I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
I've
right.
done a lot of things. I'm strong with the black belt, but the heart kind of. So I'm on this plane looking out the window, going, I'm with Trini Lopez. I'm going to Hong Kong, Sri Lanka. 20, you know, and she passed just before it happened. So that's kind of like,
Yeah.
And then he called her up and he says, hey, Lillian, it's Lillian, Virginia. Your son's very talented, but he's really easy to work with. That's the missing link. Trini says through the whole years of Sinatra, Sam, you meet tons of musicians. Says, but a lot of them have attitudes. Some are whacked out. Some are party animals. They can't focus. So he told my mom some cool things. You know, Joe's a good guy. You know, my mom goes, oh, Joey, he works real hard. He never stops working. And then she passed. So then the 15th, I'm on the airplane going across the Pacific Ocean, long flight.
Oh yeah, like Australia.
And we're signing autographs and with the stewardess taking, and then we get to Sri Lanka at 11:30 at night, and it's hot.
Yeah,
and
beaming.
the press at the Hilton's where we stayed. Trini and Joe, Trini and Joe, Trini and Joe, and I'm loving it. But I'm really missing my parents. I wish they could have saw it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like, I don't tell Trini any of this yet. We were already working together 3 years, and so then he goes, all right, Joe, get some sleep. We got rehearsal tomorrow. And I said, yeah. So I go to my a penthouse. Trini had a huge one with his girlfriend.
Right.
Orly and him were like, they never went anywhere without each other. I was like their son.
You're right.
You know. So I go to my room after thinking of, I went all across this ocean, and I'm with this legend, and I get to my door, and I took a picture of my door. It ended at 15 on the door. So then we go to rehearsal. There's press from Germany, France, Italy, all these different, and I get there and they go, you ready? I said, yeah, we're going to rehearse. We did a rehearsal, it was perfect. The next day we did the performance, it was hot, and then that thing kicked in me. Like, I wish the heck they could have saw me.
Yeah,
So,
I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel about that, man. Because my sisters have never seen me perform.
yeah, it kind of
Never.
hurts.
It does.
The Trini looked at me at the party, the Hilton, and he knows me really good. He goes, hey, what's up? I said, it's cool. Because, you know,
You're right.
20,000 people,
Yeah,
I
right.
got to get signed autographs. And I don't know, maybe it was in my face. And he goes, hey, man, Migo, what's up? I said, I don't know. What do you mean? He goes, something's up.
Yeah, right.
What's up? I go, and I told him.
Oh,
And he goes, really? He says, on the 15th, and the address is 15th, and the mortuary cemetery, and your room's 15th. He says, you know what, Joe? This was meant to be. He goes, I'm born May 15th.
Wow.
Check out Trini Lopez.
So he was the same sign as me,
Gemini.
Trini. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 26.
And we're going to get along like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought, Adele has an album called Adele 21. Well, JoeMania 15. They go, what's the 15? And then I'll tell the story.
Right, far out. Yeah, that's deep, bro.
I'm like old-fashioned heart and soul.
Me too.
I think that's why I got Kenny Loggins, Olivia Newton-John, Trini Lopez. I didn't have to do all the club things.
Yeah, right.
I just, the cartoon got me to that celebrity telethon. I played the Whiskey and the Roxy, but I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I
guys
just
that
played
played
it, yeah.
forever. I got on that show and boom, it was just instant.
There were some great shows in there, though.
Oh, yeah.